Yeah.
Why is this so cold?
I don't know. We had a hailstorm right now.
Dada, what time did you set the taco to?
30 seconds.
3-0?
Can't really see. A lot of hail. Anyways, not that important. It's important in the last video about anxiety and goal setting. I wanted to make this video outside because I like being outside in the weather, but I talked about the rampage Abraham Hicks will talk about. And so some mornings, just to give you guys a heads up, when I wake up on my way to work, there was a moment where sometimes me and my boss didn't see eye to eye. You know, and sometimes we don't. I mean, we're just different people, some with different viewpoints like everyone else, but I'm fortunate enough to have a boss that is open-minded and willing to take the time to address certain things with me a certain way. And so but that being said, I would use my energy. Okay, I'll be driving to work. It takes about 13 minutes to get to work from my house. While I'm driving to work, I'll be having a mental conversation, an argument with him in my head about this, that, and the other, about what I think, you know, as soon as I get there, he's going to say this and say that. I got to be prepared for this, prepared for that. It's like I'm using my 16 minutes as I'm driving to work to role play in my head and imagine in my head a scenario that I don't even want, but I believe is going to happen, right? I could have used that same 16 minutes to focus on things that I want. And so on days where I catch myself, I say, wait a second, what do you think the likelihood is going to happen when you get to work and all you've been doing is fantasizing in your head about how you're going to get in an argument, right? Sorry, it's kind of cold, so I'm kind of shaking. That being said, though, when I catch myself, what I'll do is then I'll imagine, okay, imagine if my boss came up to me and he said this, this, and this, and he was like, great job, this looks great, you know, what's your plan? And I say my plan is like, great, that sounds good. You know, what's the likelihood? I'm using the same time, 16 minutes, and I'm using the same mental energy I would have been putting into arguing with them, but instead having a conversation with them that's cordial, right? After I started doing that, everything's changed dramatically at work. And that was from one simple change. The point is, when you wake up, however it is in your life, what are you immediately thinking about? Because if it's really similar to what you're thinking about yesterday or right before you're going to bed, what do you think you're creating moving forward in your life? Okay, and so Abraham Hicks talks about, you know, in the first 17 seconds, or at least 17 seconds of thinking about positive thought, the law of attraction will bring another positive thought. So you got to think long enough to have law of attraction bring something more and something more. So what I'll do is, this is a technique I'll use. It's just the rampage of positivity. I'll try to get out ahead of it because, like I said in past videos, your present condition was created by past thought, and your present thought is creating future condition. So if you want to get out ahead of what you're experiencing, you're not at whim of what you experience. What you experience is at whim of what you feel. So that being said, look at this one. Yeah. And so that being said, what I'll do is I'll get it into a rampage of positivity, because I know in my heart, I don't know exactly what's going to come of it, but I know that the positivity that I'm feeling is going to create a future event which is in alignment with those feelings, which is something positive, uplifting. I don't know what it is. I might get extra money. Someone might say something nice. I might get, you know, something free that I've wanted, like a piece of food, or I might get really good news. I don't know. I just know it's going to be positive. So for example, and I mean, I'll close my eyes and I'll get giddy here because I can already start feeling it. What I'll do is I'll just start thinking. I'll be driving. I'll be like, man, I want to think about wealth and mindset and abundance, and what can I see? I'm like, man, this car over here costs $30,000. Okay, we'll say the average car costs 10 grand. Every 10 cars I see, that's $100,000. That building had to cost, that church had to be a couple $1 million to build. Ooh, every household here is like $300,000. Okay, so every 3 houses, you're close to $1 million. So there's another million, there's another million, there's another million. I start seeing all these things that require money and abundance right in my life. And then I'll start thinking, oh man, that cherry blossom tree looks great. That looks great. Oh, look at the sunset. That looks great. Or I'll think in my life, okay, what feels good? I'm like, man, you know that feeling when you're getting a coffee right in the morning? And I love Java Junction here in Auburn. And it's like, man, that coffee's so good. Oh, imagine that when you first wake up and get one. Imagine, you know, when you're going on a road trip and you're getting excited about the road trip, and you stop at the gas station, get your provisions, you get, whatever it is, your food, your energy drinks, whatever it might be, and your coffee, and you're getting gas, and your gas tank is full, and you're on the road, you're going, you know that you're not going to stop for a while, and you have everything that you could want. Put on the tunes, whatever it may be, and you're like, yeah, dude, I'm going somewhere exciting, I'm going somewhere new. You know that feeling? You know that feeling when you play scratch ticket, and you see an instant win symbol, and you know, oh my goodness, this could be anything, and whatever it may be, you're just excited. You know when you get a phone call for someone you really want to hear from, and you can't wait to talk to them. Or just recently I went down to Medford to see my friend with my other friend, and like that initial excitement was like, how should we say hi to him? You just get excited. We had a Christmas party this last year, and a bunch of people from work came over, and it was just like, that feeling of the anticipation of people arriving and standing there and having a good time, and we're standing out there having a fire. And I mean, all these things you can start thinking of, and think about that was about 2 minutes of doing that. I could have spent the 2 minutes right there easily worrying about a bunch of stuff in my life, but I spent the 2 minutes right there thinking about a bunch of stuff that I really enjoyed, and it's put me in this mood. And it's like, man, I already feel when I go on these rampages and I'm consistent with them, I'm creating something powerful within myself that allows me to be in alignment with more things that I like. But it takes a decision to say, okay, there might be this and that isn't going well in my life, or at least not something that I'm enjoying. And I mean, later on down the road, it's usually something that you needed to go through that helps build you to get to a place that you can enjoy something later. But I mean, again, there could be so many videos on this stuff. But that being said, I mean, there's just an example of what you can do to create what you're trying to create. And it's absolutely amazing. And I just encourage everybody, take that time to go on that rampage, to talk about it amongst yourselves, and to do cool things like that. And you never know where it's going to take you. You have the same energy and the same mental capacity to do the same things for yourself, but you got to get in alignment with it. You're manifesting future events with your present feeling and thought, the brain and heart coherence. And it's like, man, I love that. I love more than anything when I'm writing out a list of things that make me feel good. It's like, it's just addicting, and it's magnetizing, and the attraction of what comes into your life, the thoughts that come in, and then you start to feel real good. Then you can't help it, and then what happens is you get an idea to do something. And it's not like, oh my goodness, the biggest idea in the world. It might be like, dude, you should go to the store. All right, you go to the store. You've been wanting something, and then at the store you meet somebody, or you play a scratch ticket or something, and something happens that's in alignment with something that you've wanted, but you had to first get on that frequency to receive it. It goes back to, tuning yourself. That's one of the examples I do, or you utilize techniques and methods to tune myself to that frequency that I'm trying to be on. Because by law, whatever frequency you're on, you have to receive that transmission. Can't feel bad and receive stuff that makes you feel good at the same time. All right, that was it. Have a good day.